Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Virgo placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Virgo, to get started, I have a few notes that I'm going to read from. So the first message that I'm getting is that there is a clearing of the lower chakras. So I put solar, but I feel like it's more sacral and root chakras that you're clearing. And what that was coming through with is something that was unprocessed from the past that is being brought up to the surface that maybe you didn't see before. So an example of this is like you could be processing some unprocessed emotions. I feel like for some of you, it may be tied to grief or loss. The example that I was getting was an example from fiction. If you're familiar with Star Wars, which I'm sure most people are, but the characters Ahsoka and Anakin. So Anakin, of course, in the original, the prequel trilogy, you see his downfall into becoming Darth Vader, from good to dark, from the light side to the dark side. And Ahsoka is not in the original prequel, but she is a character that was sort of introduced later. She's like her story is mostly fleshed out through the animated series TV show called Clone Wars, and she has her own live action TV show now. Anyways, Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan. So Anakin was the mentor. And so I'm seeing you, Virgo, as this energy of Ahsoka, the Padawan to Anakin, who I feel like was, like, of course, Anakin, when he turned to the dark side, betrayed all of his like friends and all of that. Ahsoka was one of them who was betrayed by her master, her mentor. And so I'm seeing something like this for you, Virgo, where it's like maybe there's somebody in your life who like you looked up to, you respected, maybe they were a mentor of some sort, and like maybe you previously couldn't believe that they could do something that would harm you or harm others or whatever it is. But in hindsight, looking back on this time in your life, maybe, you can see sort of how like his actions led to a certain outcome or something like that. Because of course the actions that Anakin had that led to his downfall was, like, having attachments. He never worked through his anger and his grief and his loss, which all led to him being like corruptible, like that kind of energy. Anyways, so that's just an example. So I do feel like you are revisiting the past around a mentor or someone like that who maybe you're getting a new perspective on. So what else I'm getting here is that there are fears of the past repeating, but the message that's coming through is that you are a different person now and you won't make the same mistakes. You are wiser and can handle this new challenge. But I do feel like there's energy here about anxiety that's coming through with that and how you manage your anxiety. There was also this note here about nature versus nurture. So there's something that you're working through right now that I feel like is part of your nature. And I'm putting that in quotation marks, where maybe it's something that you believe is part of your nature, or this is just how you are, or this is like, the hand that you were dealt or whatever. But that you are actively in the process of changing or molding it through nurture. So through your environment, through actions, through learning, and that this is how we evolve. I'm getting a message about inner child energy, or you could have actual children that you are learning these lessons with, or this could be about future children as well. But yes, I'm getting like this very like strong energy of grief coming through as a heavy theme, but it's old. It doesn't feel recent, but you still bear the scars, which is interesting. But the good news is here for you, Virgo, because this energy does feel a bit heavy for you for this reading. So only take it if it resonates. If it's not resonating, it's not your reading. But that you're getting a full chakra realignment and clearing. So what I was seeing with that was the sulfur card, which is in the alchemy deck. And that card represents this sort of process of like something that's unpleasant, but like incredibly healing is just how it's coming through. So it does feel kind of like this unpleasant energy that's like coming up, or being cleared or being reactivated for you, but that ultimately has this effect of clearing something out that has been like clogging your energy in some way, or like holding it up, or burdening it or whatever, that kind of thing. And then finally, I got this new deck. It's called the Tarot of Woodland Wardens. I have the Oracle deck, but this is the Tarot deck, which is new, I believe. I'm going to be using both in your reading today. And whenever I get a new deck, I look through every card. I don't shuffle it. I just look through every card just to see how it progresses and all of that. And this morning, as I was shuffling it, I was like, I had looked through it already yesterday, but I couldn't remember what the Ten of Swords looked like in this deck. So I went looking for it. And that is coming through as a message for you as well, that you went looking for the Ten of Swords. This feels like something of the past, like for example, Ahsoka trying to figure out why Anakin would do this, right? Like you went looking for something that I feel like causes you pain, or that is coming through as being like a betrayal of some sort for you, or something that just like ended painfully, is what's coming through with that you went looking for it. And so this is the Ten of Swords. This is the Ten of Swords in this deck, which is actually very beautiful. And it comes with this beautiful message of like, it's an ending. It's an ending, but that there is peace and rest that comes with this ending. So I do feel like you're getting like closure or peace or rest from revisiting something from the past that caused you a lot of pain, or maybe betrayal, or whatever it is, or just this feeling of like grief that caused grief in whatever way, loss, and that hope and optimism are just around the corner. And I'm laughing to myself because you have underneath the Ten of Swords, you have the Fool and the Sun. I did not go looking for these. These were just underneath the card that I was looking for, right? So it's kind of like when you are willing to face this loss, what comes after that is this like new beginning, the Fool and the Sun. Optimism, hope, healing, clarity, I feel like is a really big one for you. Like this energy of clarity. So I also was feeling drawn to this book for you today, The Warrior of Light by Paulo Coelho. And I wanted to look at the last two entries that were in this book. So I'm going to read those to you. So the first one says, the warrior knows about the waterfall effect. He has often seen someone mistreating another person who lacks the courage to respond. Then, out of cowardice and resentment, that person vents his anger on someone weaker than himself, who takes it out on someone else, in a veritable torrent of misery. No one knows the consequences of his own cruelty. That is why the warrior is careful in his use of the sword and only accepts an opponent who is worthy of him. In moments of rage, he punches a rock and bruises his hand. The hand will heal eventually, but the child who got beaten because his father lost a battle will bear the marks for the rest of his life. So that one is talking to me about not perpetuating cycles of pain. So maybe that's something that you're healing from. Maybe you know someone who is going through that, or who you've seen go through that. It's that energy again of like Ahsoka and Anakin, of like seeing how somebody else's pain was perpetuated through harming other people. So that's one of the energies for you. And the last one says, when the order to move on comes, the warrior looks at all the friends he has made during the time that he followed the path. He taught some to hear the bells of a drowned temple. He told others stories around the fire. His heart is sad, but he knows that his sword is sacred and that he must obey the orders of the one to whom he offered up his struggle. Then the warrior thanks his traveling companions, takes a deep breath, and continues on, laden with memories of an unforgettable journey. Okay. Virgo, I feel like I can end the reading there. There's something quite like accepting and peaceful of an ending that I feel like you are getting closure about. It does feel older. Like it doesn't feel recent. But just take it if it resonates. I'm going to take a moment to pull some cards for you. I'm getting this message of like visible signs of grief for you. I'm going to pull a card from the Faeries Oracle. What is Virgo's energy right now? Or what does Virgo need to know? Yeah, the Loum. This is a card about unconditional giving and unconditional receiving. I feel like for you, Virgo, there may have been a period of time where I'm getting this energy of like very conditional giving and conditional receiving for you. Not a judgment at all. I feel like we all go through periods and cycles where we fluctuate between those two, because this card can talk about like if you are not giving enough of your energy, you can become sort of like energetically constipated, versus if you're giving too much of your energy, you can become energetically like having like diarrhea, right? Like that kind of like too much, all of a sudden explosive, like not good energy either. And I feel like maybe you're coming out of that period of like either giving too much of yourself or not giving enough of yourself, which can also lead to sort of blockages in terms of receiving energy, like what you receive, who you receive from, not letting in abundance when there is abundance, like that. It's that kind of thing. So I feel like maybe you're coming out of that, or like there's something about that that's rebalancing. I am kind of getting this sort of like recalibration, rebalancing, reorienting, like clearing something out from the past. Maybe you're doing like a physical cleaning up, or there's something about recalibration that's coming through very strongly. Like I'm seeing the stingray in this card, so we'll see if that one comes out. But the Loum also talks about like if you are feeling stuck, to do something kind for someone else, right? To give of your energy unconditionally, because that can clear up some blockages. It can also allow the universe to like give to you. So it is ultimately coming through with this energy of like something that's been stuck is being cleared. And I feel like this stuckness feels a bit unpleasant. There's an unpleasant feeling associated with this blockage being cleared. Because it's like you had to look at the Ten of Swords, whatever that was for you. You had to look at the Ten of Swords, which I feel like was something that you either were avoiding, or that like you didn't have all of the information that I feel like maybe you are gaining soon if you haven't already. It's like I feel like there's something about truth that is being revealed for you. And I feel like there's also something about like maybe you weren't like again, it's coming through with like hindsight is 2020, but also this energy of like as I was closing my eyes there, like in the past, maybe you didn't want to see the truth, or you didn't want to acknowledge the truth, and that caused a blockage for you, right? It's like, as an example, Ahsoka not wanting to believe that her mentor was being seduced to the dark side, right? Like that kind of thing, like not wanting to believe that as being true, because the truth of that is very painful, and sometimes truth is painful. So there's something like that coming through, but it's like once you acknowledge the truth, there's this like clearing of a blockage that I feel like is really important for you. But that there's still some like fog surrounding that. There's some fog surrounding that truth for you still. But I do think it's going to clear. Like, okay, with Geo the Slow coming out at the bottom of the deck, sometimes I get this energy of like a snow globe has been shaken. So it's kind of like having to wait until the snow settles, right? Like that's how it's coming through. Like, so I feel like there's something in your life right now that's happening. Whatever that is, where it's like something has been shaken up, or it's like the past has been disturbed in some way. Like, this feels like a heavy reading, Virgo, so only take it if it resonates, where it's like maybe there's some maybe there's like a ghost from the past that's been disturbed, right? Like activated, reawakened. It feels unpleasant, but at the same time, it's also necessary for this blockage to be cleared, right? It's like you have to remove it, but in order to remove it, you have to see what's blocking. That's how it's kind of feeling. So something has been disturbed from the past is what that's coming through with. So being patient as the dust settles, in order for there to be clarity, because I feel like there's also here about like, the truth is coming through, and I feel like maybe there's this energy of like fear that it's going to be unpleasant, but that I feel like you're going to be surprised by how much peace comes through with this, right? Like, and it could also be something where it's like in the past, whatever this ghost energy is, in the past, you may have had a lot of anxiety about this, whatever it is, like this situation, this energy. It could be a person. You may have had anxiety or fear that was tied to this, but because you've grown, because you've become wiser, because you have more experience, because you have all this like clarity now, it removes the anxiety, if that makes sense, from the situation. Like I'm feeling like you're seeing something clearly. Your willingness to face the Ten of Swords is giving you clarity, is just how it's coming through. Okay. Okay, could I get a card for Virgo, please? The Moth. Okay, very interesting. And inevitability is what this card comes through with. But also like being really drawn to something, like a moth to a flame. It's interesting in this deck, the Nine of Swords is depicted by a moth. We'll see if it comes through. I'm not going to look for it because I feel like the fact that the Ten of Swords is really wanting to be highlighted here is that you've moved past that, right? Like you've moved past the anxiety, the fear. You're rising out of the fear is also what's coming through. And you have Octopus at the bottom of the deck. Something from the past has been stirred up. Yeah. This is a card about someone who has good intentions, but has bad boundaries. So I feel like, so there may be somebody in your environment right now who is sort of reawakening this sort of ghost energy within you, or like memories from the past where there could be energies of codependency that are being brought up. Again, Virgo, heavy reading. You don't have to watch this. I do feel like it's for those who are needing clarity and are about to get it about past relationships that had energies of codependency, harm, betrayal, Ten of Swords. This is a really positive thing, right? The ones who are able to face the Ten of Swords in order to reach this state, right? A new beginning. I feel like that's really prominent for you. So if you're still here, this is what's on the horizon for you, right? The Fool and the Sun. Rest and peace after a really difficult ending from the past, it feels like. So I'm going to pull a card for you from the Oracle of the Woodland Wardens. But I feel like this octopus right now is present at the moment in your energy in some way. It doesn't... This person has good intentions, but is coming through as something where it's like their good intentions cause discomfort within you. It's stirring up some ghosts, it feels like. Okay, could I get an oracle card for Virgo, please? Yeah, the boar and the pumpkin. Confidence. Confidence, yeah. And then you have stagnation at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. I'm getting sacral energy really strongly with this, with the pumpkin. Confidence is the energy that you're coming through, which is really positive. Okay, I don't have the guidebook for this one. That's okay, we don't need it. Okay. Could I get some cards for Virgo, please? Yeah, the star. Healing. This is healing for you. There's like, and it feels like here, especially with all the water that's coming out, like you're clearing something. I feel like water is, it's such a healing and cleansing energy that it's wanting to come through as cleansing, but it's also feeling like there's a lot of memories here. It's such a complicated energy that I'm feeling for you, because as well as for like Ahsoka and Anakin, right? This feeling of like, she has so much love for this person, Ahsoka, and her mentor, right? Like he taught her so much about who she is and like how to be in her power, right? And like she had such a close relationship with him, but then he turned to the dark side of like towards the thing that they were fighting against together, right? So there's this feeling of like having love for the person that he was, but also having to acknowledge and accept that he is no longer that person. That there's something like that. I don't know. It feels like betrayal, but that you're healing from this. It's acceptance, like this acceptance that I don't know. I'm just feeling the sense of like letting go of something that you have been holding on to. It really does feel kind of like a significant blockage for you. Could have been in the sacral chakra, is clearing. That's how it's feeling. This was a significant blockage that's clearing. And I feel like there's something here about like, especially because the Laum as well also has these broken wings. I feel like that's coming through this energy of like, owning your scars. Like I was saying something about a visible sign of your grief, right? Like, I'm getting, in the animal deck, the gazelle has these sort of like tear tracks, and it kind of looks like Ahsoka's, face markings kind of look like that. Like there's something about like owning your scars, right? Like the experience that you have learned from, right? Like, which is highlighting the importance of, like, which gives you your confidence, right? That's how it's feeling. Like, there's something about your scars, you know, metaphorically or literally, that show experience and demonstrate your confidence, right? So it's kind of like there's this glow about you that has actually come from pain, right? And I'm not trying to romanticize that, anything like that at all, right? Like, but it does happen where it's like when you heal, you start to glow, right? You shine. There's a energy about you that is very attractive to other people, is also how it's coming through, because you have this experience, because you have confidence, because you've overcome some sort of challenge, that people trust you, that kind of thing as well. People can rely on you. People look to you for guidance. Yeah, that last one especially. People look to you for guidance. Or for direction. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles. This feels like community and family, right? Could be chosen family, doesn't have to be bio family, but I feel like that's sort of how this is coming through. Community, people who are surrounding you, people who are building with you and growing with you. Okay, I'm gonna pull cards for the other energies around you, Virgo. So an energy outside of you. The fawn. I'm getting a very like significant nature energy, right? All of these cards are very nature oriented. The fawn. Natural magic is happening. When things flow almost effortlessly, that is a sign that natural magic is at work. Enjoy it. A very important part of natural magic is simply allowing the energy to flow through us. This means both giving and receiving freely. Let the energy flow. Don't push it. Don't try to control it. Just dance with it. Trust it. And remember to keep returning to the source for inspiration and to keep your heart filled with light. Yeah. I do feel like this is something about allowing energy to flow, right? Like I feel like it's coming from you. I feel like your energy is flowing in a way that is benefiting those around you. I feel like there's something here of like a very significant blockage that I feel like within you, Virgo, just take it how it resonates again, that is allowing your environment to change as well. I feel like there's but I feel like the unblocking part was very like unpleasant for you. Yeah. The elephant. Clearing obstacles. You have the fire ant at the bottom of the deck. This is this energy of I sometimes see this as a wound, right? That hasn't been addressed, and you have Tobiah of the Waters at the bottom of the deck, which talks about like it is kind of giving the star today. And then you have the feline underneath that. With the fire ant, it can talk about aggression, but more so for me, this card represents sort of like a wound, a pain, something that like is inflammatory, something that causes irritation or discomfort or anger, even like a flare up, that kind of thing, a wound that needs to be addressed or that needs to be healed or cleansed or soothed with this sort of like water energy. So maybe you're like helping to heal that with others. Like that could be part of it. Like it's like, because I feel like this energy here of like an obstacle. So maybe Virgo, it feels kind of like there's just I am getting two energies, but it could be that you are on either side. So just take whatever side resonates, that there's, or that it's both of you, right? There could be like a significant reciprocal energy happening, or that you're on one side in a particular situation, you're on a different side in a different situation. So just take it how it resonates, where there's a significant blockage being cleared in terms of giving and receiving energy, and between you and another, that it's clearing obstacles on both sides, that energy is flowing, that there's a healing effect in this dynamic, and that in this process you are gaining confidence, or that is what you've gained through this process. Some sort of stagnation is being cleared, but I feel like the stagnation or the blockage that's being cleared is reawakening old wounds. And Tobiah of the Waters comes in with this reminder that it doesn't have to be aggressive. You don't have to engage in sort of the hot, steamy, uncomfortable, like aggressive type energy. It doesn't have to be that. Although I do feel like in the past it may have been that. It can be soothing. It can be calm. It can be relaxing and healing. Okay, can I get this energy for this other? Yeah, frog, metamorphosis. Metamorphosis, the frog and lotus. That's for the other. So it does feel kind of like, so again, flip the roles if that resonates more for you. But it does feel kind of like you're giving of your energy. Or if it may not even be intentional, is kind of how it's kind of feeling. Like, it almost feels like you're doing your own inner work, and by releasing something that is personal to you, or healing yourself, or revisiting this 10 of Swords from the past, whatever that is for you, in revisiting that, it clears a blockage, not only for you, but for those in your environment. And it creates this big change, because it's like the energy is flowing through you to others. And it feels, which is like really interesting, because I feel like it's almost something where, even though the process is gross or unpleasant for you, it somehow is very healing for other people. Like, it's like this, the sulfur card, where it's kind of gross smelling, right? Like, sulfur smells like rotten eggs, right? Like, it's gross, but at the same time has such healing benefit. So it's kind of like there's something like that. For you, it's gross, or like unpleasant. Maybe gross is not the right word, but unpleasant. But it has such a healing benefit for other people. Like, with this frog and the mud, that mud is necessary for lotus to bloom, right? Like, that's how it's feeling. It's a really big clearing of an obstacle. Like, it's like after you I'm gonna be gross for a second, but like, if you have food poisoning, right, and you have to remove it from your system, right, through vomiting or whatever. It's gross, but afterwards you feel so much better. Like, that's how it's coming through, especially with the satisfaction card. It's almost like other people around you also feel better. That's how it feels. It feels like collective healing, and it's because you were able to face the 10 of Swords. Okay. Can I get a card for the others? 3 of Cups, yeah. Very interesting. It feels like collective healing. It could have something to do with a friend. 'Cause it's almost coming through as being like, okay. Just because these look like clones of one another. I don't know. Maybe you want to watch the Clone Wars, the Star Wars animated series. Because now I'm kind of getting this energy of like, okay, after everything happened and Darth Vader became who he became, Ahsoka and the rest of her team, right, like the clones, Rex being one of them, I feel like they had sort of like a falling out because it was so painful being together, right? Like, knowing that all of this could have been, well, maybe not avoided, but like that they had failed in a way, that everything that they had been working towards, the rebellion, all of that had failed, like in a catastrophic kind of way, like where Anakin turned to the dark side. He you know, whatever, helped the empire gain power, like that kind of thing. They had failed. But it's like, this feels almost like coming back together with those people, like the friends, the people from the past that you had gone through something with, maybe. And it's like, there's healing that comes from that maybe you had been blocked from something, or maybe you blocked yourself off from something. I don't know. This feels kind of, so it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're moving forward with this energy, but it does feel like making peace with it, right? It does feel like making peace with the past. It doesn't mean that the past is coming forward with you. It just means that you're making peace with it, that it's not going to haunt you anymore, is what I'm getting with this. So just take it how it resonates. It feels like you're clearing a ghost, or ghosts, plural. It could be multiple things in order for you to move forward. Yeah, the Empress. The Empress and the Fawn. This fawn. I know fawn. Okay, it's spelled differently than fawn as like a baby deer, but like that's the same energy to me today. I feel like this other is receiving energy from you. Whatever this is, right? Like, it does feel like this energy is receiving from you. And because the Empress is the embodiment of feminine energy, right? Receiving. Something about fertility as well. But again, it's this, okay, see this? See the water and the waterfall, right? Like that maybe a waterfall is a synchronicity for you, or like just the flow of water. But it's kind of like you doing this, right? Like you letting go, you healing, whatever this is for you, right? Significant healing for you through water, through cleansing, could also be through tears, is unblocking something. And it's almost like it causes this chain reaction of water now flowing in this person's environment. Like that's how it's coming through, where it's like, it's having this, I feel like unintended. It doesn't feel like you're trying to help this person, but the fact that you're unblocking your energy is helping this other. That's how it's coming through. Unintentionally feels like. It's having this sort of like a butterfly effect. But in this case, it's coming through as a moth. Like, I don't know. It's coming through like attraction, a moth being drawn to a flame, like a flow of energy, a current, electricity, all of that's coming through. Like, by you unblocking this energy, stagnation, whatever it is, healing a wound, looking at the Ten of Swords and getting peace about it, creates this flow of energy that just is an unstoppable force, is how it's coming through to benefit somebody else in your environment. I don't know who that is. Perhaps you do, but perhaps you don't. The Moon, a very strong spiritual connection. You're connected through water to this person. Yeah. Emotionally, spiritually, you're connected to this person. Because it's like this. The river is dry in this card, which is interesting. And there's water in all of these. Except the Ten of Pentacles, of course, but... could I get another card for the Moon? I feel like there's something of perhaps a separation, but because it's interesting that these two, because it's not, well, I guess one's a wolf, one's a fox, but that they're separated because normally in the moon they're separated by water. In this case, they're separated because there isn't any water. That's how it's feeling. A separation caused by a blockage is how I'm getting that. I'm going to read what this one says, actually. The moon lights the way and shows the path forward. An Arctic fox and a red fox, okay, so they're both foxes, pause on their journey to look up at the beauty of the celestial body. The two vulpine species are different but similar. Both excellent hunters, the Arctic fox can survive in brutally cold climates, while the red fox is larger, more territorial, and more aggressive. Together, the foxes represent opposing forces within ourselves, but the two are unified by the moon. This is the card of dreams and intuition. It tells us to trust in ourselves. In the moonlight, inner truths can be revealed without prejudice or disdain. I'm going to leave it there. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.